All right, y'all. Good morning. Luis Morales here, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk. This is the Thursday morning stretch break at 11 a.m. Let's go ahead and get right into it. But before we do, if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Always up for suggestions for these sessions. What I got going on here today, we're going to start kind of with the upper body and move it down towards the lower body and the hips. Not seeing anything in the chat right now, so we'll go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and start on the ground here today. And we want to make sure we have some space. We can kind of move around here, so a yoga mat's worth of space usually will help. But what we're going to do today is actually start by lying on our sides. We're going to be doing some twisting, so opening up some of that spine. So starting here on my side, I got the knees stacked up on top of each other. They're up around hip level. This whole lower body, lower half is going to stay static. We're going to go arms stacked up on top of each other. Head can float or rest on the ground, whatever's most comfortable for you. Feel free to grab a pillow or a yoga block. But what we're going to do is open up like a big book. So that top hand is going to leave, bottom hand's going to stay. We're going to open up, keeping our eye on that top moving hand. Open up and twist as far as you comfortably can while keeping that lower half stable. Gonna hang out in that outstretched position for a sec, take a breath. And then we can start to close our book here. We're breathing as we go here. Watching that hand all the way with our eyes and our head. Shoulder might be able to go a little bit further than the neck can turn, and that's all right. Just do your best, especially because this is the morning time. It's going to be a little bit stiffer, but the more we do it, the looser it'll become. Nice work, you guys. All right, wherever we're at, let's make this next one the last one. Well done. Let's close that book. Good, all the way, turning the head. Then we can flip it over to the other side. So same deal, we're gonna set up with that lower half, knees stacked up on top of each other, up around hip level. All of that is going to stay nice and static. Arms on top of each other, outstretched in the front, and now that opposite arm is going to be the moving one. We're gonna keep our eye on it. Twist, open up. Take a breath in this position. We can start to close the book. Good job, you guys. Let's do 3 more. Deep breaths as we go through this one. Might be feeling some stretch through the back, the chest, the shoulders, the neck. Good job, you guys. Good job. Breathe in that outstretched position. All right, wherever we're at, let's make this one our last one here. Get all the way into that open book position. Take a big breath. Look past that hand. And then let's close that book all the way. Nicely done, you guys. Okay, now what we're going to do from this position, we can flip onto our backs here. And what we're going to do is a little bit of rotation out through that lower half. So that at first, that lower half was staying pretty still. Now we're going to rotate through there and leave the upper body pretty static. So we can spread those arms out if this is more comfortable for you. With the feet planted about hip width apart, what we're gonna do is just let those knees fall out to one side. We can let the hips twist and come off the ground a little bit here. We wanna make sure that the shoulders stay on the ground. And then we can switch those knees, those hips to roll out over to the other side. Let's continue to breathe as we go. We're just kind of going side to side at your own pace. Trying to open up the low back a little bit too with this one. Take some breaths in these twisted positions here, guys. Let's do one more each side. Keep those shoulders on the ground. Good job, everybody. Good job. Last one here over to the other side. There we go. All right, let's bring those knees back to the middle. Well done. All right. Next up, we're going to come up a little bit. We're going to come into a half kneeling position. So take your time, roll onto your side if you need to. From here, a pillow or something might help. Maybe folding up your mat a little bit might help with that knee on the ground here. But we're going to get into that half kneeling position and do a nice hip flexor stretch. Let me adjust the camera here a moment. All right, so I'm gonna start with my right knee down on the ground here, guys. What we're gonna do to find that hip flexor stretch is start by squeezing that back glute. So if you have your right knee down, right butt, super hard squeeze. We'll pull the belly button in towards the spine. Then we can push those hips forward a little bit. Looking for some tension, nothing crazy. Don't want to feel like it's gonna tear. We also don't want to be super upright, kind of lean forward a little bit over that front leg while we squeeze that glute, stretch out that hip flexor. Let's breathe into the front of that hip. Good job. One more breath. Good. And on that exhale, we can rock back. So put our weight back into that right knee. And then what we're going to do is stretch out that front leg hamstring a little bit. So let's go ahead and straighten out that front leg. Rest the heel on the ground, toes up towards the ceiling. Now we're going to push those hips of ours back. Reach for the ground, reach for our foot, the shin, the knee, the ankle, whatever we have available to us in order to kind of stretch out that front leg's hamstring. Again, looking for a medium stretch so we can still breathe into. Let that midsection expand here, guys. One more breath. Well done. There we go. All right, let's let that front leg bend a little bit. We can straighten ourselves up. Now let's switch the legs. So if you started with your right knee down like me, we're on to the left now. Same deal. We're going to start with that hip flexor. So finding it using that glute, give it a little tap if you need to. That sometimes helps our muscles kind of wake up and engage a little bit. So finding that glute, we're going to pull the belly button in towards the spine. We're starting to push the hips forward a little bit until we can find our medium amount of tension. Slight lean forward just to make sure we're not super upright and dumping tension into the lower spine. Keeping that glute squeeze there. Focus real hard if you have to while we breathe. Good job, you guys. Breathe into that tension, front of the hip with the glute squeeze in the back. Good, last breath. There we go, good job. All right, let's shift our weight back. Front leg is going to extend, heels down, toes are up. We're going to sink our hips backwards just a little bit, reach down for the knee, the shin, the ankle, whatever we have available to us. We're stretching out that front leg hamstring, still breathing, still trying to inflate the midsection with the inhale here, expanding the lower back. Good job, you guys. Medium stretch. Well done. One more breath. Good job, you guys. Let's straighten ourselves all the way up. We can let that front leg bend, come back to being supported. Beautiful. All right, you guys, that is all the time I have left for this stretch break here today. Don't forget, at noon, we have exercise with Exos. That is going to be led by me today. Looking forward to that workout. Another stretch break at 2:30 p.m. We also have a special event coming this Friday, Bike to Wherever Day, where we're challenging you to bike, walk, or run 30 minutes before work, and then join me for an 8:30 a.m. Pacific mobility session to close it out. If you guys are looking for more info on classes, services, and all the programs and events that we have going on, go to SharePoint Autodesk One. You can search Exos at Autodesk and it should pop up. That will have all the information there for you. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys later.